Well, good afternoon folks. As you can see, it's a pretty grim day, and today we're going to go out and have a test ride of the new Triumph 900 GT Pro. But we're not going to buy one. I'm
just trying to convert him.
We're just going to test it. So with the rain clouds threatening, we set off for our local Triumph dealer, Pure Triumph in Wellingborough. All the YouTube reviews I'd seen were very favourable, very positive, so I was keen to have a ride myself. Although in fairness, Sue was more than happy with her 800. But the reviews of the new 900 seemed to indicate that they'd reconfigured the engine and that the centre of gravity was a bit lower and a bit further forward. One of the problems Sue had found with the 800 was that it was slightly top heavy, so anything that was going to lower the centre of gravity was always going to be good. The reviewers also thought that the bike, despite being more powerful, it was slightly lighter and more manoeuvrable. So we're both looking forward to trying it for ourselves. We'd booked the bike out for an hour, so the plan was I would take the first half hour and then hand over to Sue so she could have her trial run. And as predicted, just as we set off, the rain started. As all the YouTube reviewers had predicted, the first thing you notice is the engine. It's totally different to the normal triple that I was used to on the 800. It had far more torque, far more pull, grunt and a real growl to it. It was a real pleasure, a real joy to ride. Apart from the engine, after the first few minutes, one of the standout things for me was the quick shifter. It really was as good as they said. I mean, I've got one on my BMW 1200, but it's, in comparison, it's clunky and industrial. This is as smooth as silk and a real pleasure to use. The Brembo brakes are really powerful, I think much better than the 800. And also the new 2FT screen, I think it's bigger, it's easier to read, it's got plenty of functionality. Overall, I think this is a massive step up from the 800. Anyway, that's my fun for today. Now it's Sue's turn, so we head to our usual training ground so I can do a handover and let her experience it and see what she thinks of it in comparison with her 800. Before we do the handover, even though it's only been a very, very short test ride, let me just walk you through my first initial thoughts. 2020 Tiger 900 GT Pro in white. I prefer the red, to be honest, but I've just ridden it for 15 minutes and I think it's a step up from the 800. Just like all the other YouTubers have said, I think the engine is fantastic. really grunty and a lovely growl to it. The quick shifter is the best I've ever used by far. The screen is much bigger, much more functionality on it. Even says good afternoon when you switch it on. And you've got the usual rider modes: rain, road, sport, off-road, etc. You can customise it. You can have different colours. You've got the damping on the back, sport, normal, comfort. You can attach your phone to it. You know, the usual stuff. There's even got a basic GPS system. 4 different styles. So you can basically customise the whole thing to suit you. One thing I've noticed though is, and it's also got tyre sensors, which I think are really useful. The screen is easier to use, right with one hand. It's narrower than the other one, but it doesn't seem to have any problem at all. The seat is slightly narrower, but heated seat, heated rear seat. We put these crash bars on. They don't come as standard, but I think if we were thinking of getting it, what do you think? Yeah, we would put those on. The other question is, would the top box that we have on the 800 fit on the 900, or do we have to have some expensive attachments? But overall, my first impressions of this is it's superb. Absolutely brilliant ride. Great bike, great brakes on the front, Brembo, in fact Brembo on both front and rear. Yeah, very impressed, very impressed. More importantly, it's not about if I'm impressed, it's whether Sue's going to be impressed, because it's her turn next. Looking forward to it?
Yeah. I wish it was the red one. Much as I love riding my motorbike, I'm actually not a big fan of trying new bikes, but the reviews for the 900 have been really good, and Bri seemed particularly impressed so far, so I thought I'd give it a go. The one thing that had struck me straight away about the 800 was the high centre of gravity. It felt far heavier than the BMW 700 that I'd had beforehand, and the thing that I noticed immediately about the 900 was it felt lighter and more controllable, particularly, funny enough, at slow speeds. The engine sounded different as well, with the famous Triumph whistle having been replaced with almost a growl. And certainly when we rode on the fast roads, the poke in the engine was fantastic. It really did seem very efficient. Like the 800, the 900 had lots of toys that come as standard on the GT Pro. So the spots are there. I love the spotlights, and they're still there. Bigger TFT screen. I was really happy. I'm really happy with the one on the 800, but the one on the 900 is bigger. Far too many options to go through on a test ride as well, but it certainly seems to have a lot of options. Smaller but easier to manoeuvre windshield on the 900 as well. The windshield on the 800 is great, but it is quite difficult to manoeuvre. There's a lot of pushing and pulling to get it to the position that you want, and there's been a handle fitted on the new screen on the 900, which makes it far easier to use. And of course it's got the essential heated bits as well. The seat, which actually on the 900 has a separate switch for the pillion seat, and also the hand grips, and there's a number of options for heat on the hand grips. The quick shifter's new to me. I haven't had a bike with a quick shifter on before. One thing I noticed, I think Brian and I both noticed about the 900, was the quick shifter was really smooth in all the gears. So once you've pulled away, you can use the quick shifter immediately, all the way up and all the way down, and it's really, really smooth to use. It'll probably take me a little bit of a while to get used to it, because I've not had one before, but I could certainly see myself getting used to that. All in all, the bike was pretty effortless to ride. It's certainly up there in the running as an option when we replace the 800.